The following clip is from a previously recorded episode of the Cherish Each Moment podcast. Want to take just a few minutes and talk about a particular segment here that I wish I could talk about more often, but I just haven't really had enough material to cover, and it usually only happens around major events. But this segment I want to coin as Ion Golf. And I want to just take a few minutes to talk about the upcoming tournament, the PGA tournament. The U.S. Open is happening, I believe, this weekend. Torrey Pines, so extremely noteworthy course, up there with Augusta, and this is probably the next biggest tournament as far as like big deal as the Masters. So PGA Championship, and like I said, Torrey Pines. I've been seeing some footage of the course and how it's looking as they've been getting it ready for the tournament. And obviously with professional golf tournaments, the course looks immaculate, but the details you don't really see too much of on TV. For example, the roughs at Torrey Pines right now, and that these players are going to have to deal with if they end up there, which I'm sure is going to happen. These roughs are nasty. Like, they look great. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean nasty that way. I mean nasty that they're going to be challenging because they're so deep. The grass is cut so tall. It's got to be like 5 inches at least. Maybe even more. I don't know. I don't even know if mowers can go this high. But it's going to be a game of hide and seek for sure. If you hit your ball in the rough, you better hope someone saw where it landed. Otherwise, forget about it. It is going to be buried. It's going to be lost. And it's only going to be found if somebody else comes along later and steps on it. So, yeah, I can't imagine playing golf in conditions like that because I play in the rough pretty regularly when I play. I don't know if any of you can relate. I guess it kind of just depends on who you're talking to. But I'll be honest, I play a lot out of the rough, and I can't imagine having to deal with rough like that. But that is not the main point of discussion here with this particular tournament at this particular golf course. It's not the roughs, it's the greens. And something that I never really paid attention to until I saw this particular article from the USGA organization. The greens at Torrey Pines, Poa Annua greens. Poa, the grass we all hate, the grass we all don't want. The greens are Poa Annua. So, wanted to talk about that really quick and just kind of share a little bit of excerpts from this article from the USGA and just share this with you. I think it's incredibly interesting, and I always thought cool season areas, golf courses, were bent grass greens, and it's not always the case. Another option, clearly, on an incredible golf course like Torrey Pines, Poa Annua. So let me just kind of share a couple of excerpts here. I'll include a link to this in the show notes, in the description, wherever you're watching or listening to this, so that you can check this out as well. But in cooler regions, and this is quoting from the article, in cooler regions, 2 grasses are commonly used on putting greens, creeping bent grass and Poa Annua. Each can exist as the only species on a putting green or as a mixed stand. Playability is usually improved when only one species is present, but a mixture of the two is far more common and can provide excellent playability and improved reliability, which I think is super interesting. Poa Annua has many characteristics that make it a great putting surface, including the ability to withstand traffic from golfers and maintenance equipment, tolerance of low light environments and cool environments, high density, or more plants per square inch than other species, and spike marks are less problematic due to a vertical growth habit. So that's also interesting as well. obviously, they make a point that there is no perfect grass species and that POA presents some challenges. I think POA, to all of us homeowners, is a challenge in and of itself, but since they're growing it on purpose and maintaining it on purpose, they have their own challenges, which include seed head production, bumpy conditions late in the day and during early spring season, susceptibility to diseases and winter injury, and vulnerability to heat and drought. So that's kind of interesting too, and I think we can relate to some of those because, we look forward to susceptibility to winter injury primarily when we're dealing with POA. But I think that's really fascinating that they're able to take a grass that for probably all of us listening, unless you work in the golf industry, and maintain greens that are POA greens. The rest of us, we could honestly care less about POA. We don't want it. We don't want anything to do with it. If we even see a single POA seed head in our yard, we flip out. So I think this is really cool. If you have a chance to check out this article, it's literally a maybe 2-minute read. But yeah, so last paragraph here says, the bottom line is that every golf course has a unique set of conditions and circumstances that dictate which grass species will perform best at their facility. POA has its pros and cons, just like any other grass species, but when managed properly in the right environment, it can produce some of the best putting surfaces in the world. In fact, 9 of the past 16 U.S. Open championships, 9 of the past 16, more than half of the last championships have been played on putting surfaces, putting greens, that were primarily Poa Annua. Fun fact. Really incredible information right there. I thought that was a super interesting article. And that there is my eye on golf.
For